Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Eternal Craft. This is Kuroshi and let's start this off with doing a little bit more updates. Things that are being planned on being done, and then I got a kind of a cool little design of a tree farm that works really well. It does the weird shaped trees. You know, normally you have the easy shaped ones. You know, those farms like the ones that do like oak and birch and all that stuff that are easy to do. But the ones that are odd shaped, like the nether ones and acacia and cherry, things like that, a little harder to do. So I got one that does all those ones other than mangrove. Mangrove is going to be a different farm that's going to come out a little later. But while we're here, let's get started and looking at these other farms that I created here. So as you can tell, more filters. So we got more wood started in here, and starting right there, that's going to be the start of the sugarcane farm. I already did the bamboo, as you can see it over there. I did record a time lapse of this, but it got corrupted and wouldn't let me edit it. So this is what we got here. It's off right now because actually the system over there is full. But underneath here, there's some pretty nifty things. So minecart's actually stopped now. Start and stop. I use slime blocks, or honey blocks instead of slime blocks. I use these because the bamboo actually sticks to it, and they slide down it, so you don't lose as much. Because the other ones cause them to bounce, and I've always had issues of them just glitching through the side and wasted a bunch. This one, a few glitch, but not like the other. Typical minecarts like this across the board. I'm running 4 total. The 4th one's down here. And the way it works down here, you'll see all the extra hoppers and stuff. There's probably a better way of doing this, but I wanted all the circuitry underneath this. So the first hopper here, or the first dropper, is for just regular bamboo. But if you notice, I have it locked, a redstone on a sticky piston here, a redstone block and a sticky piston, that I can lock this hopper, so it stops directing it into this dropper, so we stop getting actual just regular bamboo. It will send the extra bamboo down here, which in turn can be pulled down into this one if this is enabled. So this one is the bamboo blocks. So then we can have 2 of them go into the bamboo blocks, and then these are all. There's like actually a control panel here. Flip lever up to get bamboo. Flip lever up to get block of bamboo. So if this one is flipped up, the second one, the last one, this one will move back, and that will give you regular bamboo. Now, if you have them all engaged like this, that means everything's being directed into the bamboo slabs. So there's a auto crafter here that crafts them into blocks. They get dropped into that one, which then spits them out as actual blocks, as the actual slabs, I mean. And then that comes up the system and comes back and goes all the way back into the filter system back here. So it's pretty nifty. Like the switching here is all me, and I got the design for that. Just search like slime or honeycomb find machines for farms, and you'll find it. If I remember to, I'll link where I got it from, where I got the initial design. I changed it some, but initial design in the description below. Other than that, so there's that farm. Oh, I got the stupid rats. I hate the rats. Please let me sleep. Please let me sleep before they get to me. Yay, they're dead. Stupid rats. I hate the rats. Okay, so there's that farm. Okay, so now you can see the 2 major Bonemeal farms, and these are Ilmango's design. It took me a couple of tutorials. Again, I'll try to, if I remember, I'll try to put the tutorials that I've followed for this in the description below. But yeah, so I got 2 of these. I mimicked them, same build, both sides. Now, the reason why I did this is because I wanted to be able to run these tree farms at full tilt and not run out of bone meal. So if I would have just like tried to run this one and this one together off one, it wouldn't be enough. So I can run this one at full tilt at the same time, and the wife can be on this one if she wants. So the one on the right is actually a one I build in almost every world. It's a older design, but it still works very well. So you get your you have your crushers. I go inside here. Get up here. You have your crushers in here. Redstone block crushes. Basically gets rid of all your leaves. So basically what this does is it makes sure everything is kind of like a straight up and down tree, and it's done that way by the limiting of the height. Any tree that grows odd shaped, like if it had like a log that came off like right here or something, would actually gum up the works. So it stops it from working. So this is only for specific trees. So in here is the trees that it'll do. It'll do oak, it'll do spruce, it'll do birch, jungle, single jungle, believe it or not. And those are the 4 common ones that it does. As you see, I've been running it pretty good for oak. And just an oak in one sitting, I believe an hour and a half. I'll run back here really quick so you can see. It was pretty efficient. Like it really kicks out the oak logs. So if you need a farm for the those common trees like that, it's the one that I really recommend. So if we go here with the oak, which is right here, that one's full, that one's full, that one's full, and that one. So now the acacia was the one that's across the street. So these are empty right now, but as you can see, I kind of have a lot of acacia running around now. Getting a better idea of what this is going to look like with the paths and stuff with all the acacia. I'm still got work in progress. Got some more to strip and stuff, but that's where the acacia is coming from. But that farm over here, I have a bunch of these still, and that's a lot of logs stretching way out there and stuff to get it done. So I think I ran mine for the other one, which is my design, for about 25 minutes, and this chest here was almost half full. It was the first 3 rows, so that's pretty good for 20 minutes. So the actual farm, and I can run the farm at full clip with this bone meal farm running, so I don't have to worry about running out of bone meal as I'm going. And once I show you more of the design here, it'll make more sense here. So if I come up here, you still hear the clickers. I gotta turn them off. But this one is the cherry sapling, so the goofy ones. Here's the acacia. Now I started with 38 acacia, or 30 acacia. So the way this farm is set up is it actually will filter out the saplings and automatically send them up. This is unlock. You unlock this and it'll automatically send up, like, say, cherry saplings up top, acacias up top. Up top would be up there. These 3 are going to be for, or at least these 2 for sure, are going to be for the nether trees, because this farm will actually do the nether trees. And then the other ones I don't know yet. It's just options. So I have dirt in here. Eventually I'll have the nether, the crimson ones and the warped ones, because you have to grow those trees on those. So now when we come up here, that ticking your noise is from when I was emptying out the system from when I ran it last. 7, get rid of that. So this is the room where you come up. You come up here, and this side will spit out the sapling, and this side spits out the bone meal. And again, as you can see, this is already full. Like, this is full from when I've done it. And also, if I F4 here, it actually already has in here, you'll see the flow for this. So whatever it doesn't use, it's just going to drop out here. Eventually, this is going to connect to some other farms back here. As you can see, there's like more paths and stuff. So once that happens, then there's more farms over that way. But anyway, so for this farm, you just stay in here with the sapling and bone meal, and you just bone meal it, sapling it, and what happens is this will actually kick up for when you're running the other trees, the crimson and warped, so you don't accidentally bone meal the other block. And also, if you come out here, there's a dispenser here that actually has bone meal in it. So one of the issues that you run into when you're mining or when you're farming those particular trees is that the tree sits too long, or just randomly the block that it sits on will turn into a regular nether block. Well, if you kick up another block that is the Nylium, or not Nylium, the warped ones, or the Crimson right next to it, and you bone meal a regular nether rack block, it'll actually turn into the neighboring block. So if it's red, it'll turn into a red top one. If it's the blue, it'll turn into the blue. So that's why this system's here. Now this system runs even if it's in regular tree mode. I didn't bother setting up a way of turning it off because it doesn't really hurt nothing. And you don't waste the bone meal as it goes. So if I click this, and you can actually get out here. And you can click on this. So this is normally filled with bone meal. I have to fill it back up. So, but yeah. And that will last you about an hour and a half, 2 hours of constant running, at least. I've AFK'd the farm for an hour and hour and a half in creative mode, and I still never ran out of bone meal. There's still bone meal in there, so pretty good. So that's that farm. All the little circuitries and the levers and all that stuff. So I do have the means to add the other two here. The nether trees and stuff, but I got to set it up so I can get the saplings first, or the fungus, which is what's going to be back here. There's going to be 2 farms back here that's going to have those. So that is the other updates from here. So overall, it's coming along. You know, there's still some updates and changes I want to make things better. The other big key thing is I'm tired of walking. I want to fly, so got to get wings. But first, I got to kill the dragon, and then before that, I have to find another fortress, which I've done that part. So there's actually changes in the Nether, so we can go look at that now. So let's do that. So in the Nether here, this is again a work in progress. We just started it. Well, I did. So each section will have what's down that way. So there's a spruce forest that way. Honestly, I found that by accident. I wasn't looking for that when I found it, but I found it. This is the path to the nether surface. In our videos where we went to the nether and we went to the nether surface, this is where we came. That's where we did that from. There's other sources now. So down there's going to be a hoglin farm. I kind of have them mapped out of what's going to be there. So you got the hoglin farm, and then you'll see the Soul Sand Valley Nether Fortress. So that's down there too. My understanding is if the Nether Fortress is in a Soul Sand Valley, you get better spawn rates for Wither Skulls. Well, I want beacons, so I don't think I'm going to ever do an actual Nether farm to get a bunch of heads. I just want enough to do probably 5 or 6 beacons and call it a day, because that's all I'll ever need. And then Crimson and Warped is down there as well, so that's where I got the blocks. This way is Badlands and Desert. It's down this way. And this one's going to be the Frog Farm. I like the frog lights, so that's what I want. And then you'll notice, oh, you're in a building and you're on top of the Nether. So this is what this building looks like. I think it looks kind of cool. I don't know if I'm really happy with the kind of pyramid-shape-esque roof. I think it should be more rounded, but as of right now, I haven't changed it. Also, in the paths here, we're going to do wool on the floor and have these color-coded. So this will say Spruce Forest, and there will be a color that's tied to that. So the ones that have multiple, like this one, they're the same ones on both sides, so it's 3 different things. There's going to be 3 different colors. So you'll be going down this path with the 3 colors, and then when it tees off to the right or left or wherever that particular farm is, you can see the T coming up there, that color will veer off and disappear from the main line. So you always know where the farm is based on the color when you're flying above. So you have like a marker knowing which, you're looking for this color, oh, just follow the red path. You're looking for this one, follow the blue path, something like that. Eventually we'll have more things like I'll find an area like where coral is, or I'll find an area where we can get the ocean temples and the end and all that stuff. We'll also have like markers for that too, and different colors for that as well. So I think maybe we may eventually run out of colors, but the core farms that we normally use will be color coded. So yeah, that's what this is. This is being called the Industrial District. That's just a temporary name. It'll have a better name once we figure out, the end all be all look and we're done with most of the farms. So for me, let me go back and sleep because we don't want mobs. So yeah, that's what's going on so far. Very, very busy in terms of the farming. It's also the part that I really like to do. Again, I did film that, but it didn't turn out, so I'm going to film this one, the sugarcane, because it's very, very similar, and hopefully this one doesn't corrupt and doesn't fail. Other than that, that's the end of the updates, but I think you guys might want to see the building of this farm. Like how it was done, how it works, the overall construction. So if you guys want to recreate it, you can kind of watch the time lapse and see individual constructions of individual parts. The part that isn't included is the bottom half. So this stuff down here isn't included in that time lapse because this is proprietary to my world. Like you won't need all this stuff. You could have just like 5 chests down here with different types of bone meal, or not bone meal, your saplings that you want to use, and that's it. Or you want to design this differently, like you don't want to come up here, you want to come up over here, or you have a central location where you want all this stored, or I don't know, you want to put it underground and have levers, just like a lever thing, and then everything going directly underground, so you just see this and don't have the filters above here. You can design that portion on your own. But yeah, so after that, let's show you that time lapse of the building of this, and once we're done with that, I'll get right back with you. Well, there you go. That's the end of the time lapse there, and now you got to see how this thing was built. And I hope you all liked it. And with that being said, that's the end of this particular episode. And I hope you all like what you've seen. And if you all do, please like, subscribe, consider leaving a comment below, and I'll talk with you later. See you in the next one. Bye bye.